Well, great. Well, as I said, in today's session, we're going to be talking about the 7 skills of sales masters. And for those of you that are regular insiders, you may the title of this presentation may ring a bell to some of you. It's based upon a quiz we developed several years ago to highlight a set of winning behaviors that we've identified as the most important to sales success. Now, some of these skills and behaviors have remained the same, but some have changed and evolved to keep pace with the trends in B2B business development. So even if you remember the old answers, some of the new ones may surprise you. So let's just start with the first one. I set goals and then I achieve them. I have boundless energy, stamina. Professional sales is my career identity. I'm 100% confident in my abilities. So you can quickly think about your own answer, and then I'm going to jump right in and go to the next slide. And that is that professional sales is my career identity, we believe is one of the most important skills for sales professionals. And the correct answer brings us to our first extremely important skill, which is actually more of a mindset than a behavior or a skill set. The most successful sales reps are the ones that they treat professional sales as their career identity, and they approach it with the same commitment to quality and integrity as any other respectable profession. The skill is near and dear to our hearts here because it gets to the core of why we do what we do here at BusinessWise. Our job is to help salespeople sell better. And of course, a big piece of that is helping sales reps connect with more of their best prospects using trustworthy contact data. But it's also just as important to approach your job as a sales rep with pride and with dignity. So here our intrepid sales professional is saying, professional sales is my career identity. I dispute the perception that sales reps are untrustworthy. Just like a doctor or a lawyer, I offer my clients and prospects a valuable service, and I take pride in my career as a trusted advisor. And we've included a quote here from one of our favorite and most reliable sales thought leaders, Anthony Iannarino of the Sales Blog. He says, "How much should your clients have to pay for your advice?" And that's a great question to keep in mind because it gets right at how this professional mindset separates sales masters from the competition. If you as a sales rep don't have professional level advice and guidance that are separate from your product, you're just another commodity. So your advice is worth something, and you should take pride in that fact. So the key takeaways here is to remember that sales is a job because it's something that you have to do, but it's really a profession because it's a career that you pursue with energy and passion. And a profession requires training, education, and dedication. So if sales is a profession, then you provide a service, again, separate from your product. What is it? How do your clients benefit from it? So finally, make it about your own standards for quality and integrity. Live up to those, and there won't be any reason to doubt you. The reason we started here is that a professional approach to sales sets the stage for everything else that we'll discuss in today's presentation. The next skill of a master sales hunter is that they are most likely to be one of these 4 things. And so the one that we think is absolutely the most important is to anticipate your prospect's pain. And the reason for that is that anticipating your prospect's pain starts with the notion that your prospect needs a reason, not just to buy, but to engage with you in the first place. Before you can give them a reason to engage with you, you need to know what matters to them. So the word anticipate is critical here. It's not just about discovering pain by asking open-ended questions. Anybody can do that. But when a sales rep anticipates a prospect's pain, they that separates you from the competition by showing your prospect that you provide unique value. And that way, the idea of an appointment with you becomes that much clearer and harder to resist. Again, we've included a quote from Anthony Iannarino here to reinforce this concept. He says, "The truth is that you should know where your client has problems and needs better results without even asking." So here's the key takeaways for this important sales skill: anticipating prospects' pain. Remember, anyone can ask questions to uncover pain. Successful reps already know the answer. There's a difference in intensity between major pain and a minor problem. The latter is merely inconvenient, while the former is what drives action. There's also a difference between present pain and future pain. The prospect may already be fully conscious of their present obstacles to success, but if you can show them the obstacles they are likely to face in the future and thereby change their perspective, they will perceive more value and have an even bigger reason to engage with you. The next skill for master sales hunters is that they are most likely to do one of these four things. And so of these four things, we believe that the one that is most important is to offer your prospect unique insights. And we're going to continue with that theme because since these insights and ideas come from you, your experiences and knowledge, they are unique, and your prospects can't get them anywhere else. When you successfully demonstrate unique insights to your prospects, they will see the value of engaging with you. In a recent survey by the Rain Group, which is a sales consulting organization headquartered in Boston, they asked B2B decision makers what factors they take into account when agreeing to connect with a seller. And 63% said that they consider whether the seller offers something of value. The only factors that scored higher were somewhat obvious ones: whether they had a clear need for the product or service, and whether they had the budget. So the thing that's really important here, and a great way to home in on the value that you provide as a professional sales advisor, is this question. We've talked about this before, but this is such a great way to think about it. Imagine your prospects are asking, what do I get in return for doing this thing, agreeing to meet with you, even if I never become a client with this person? And so three really good answers are the knowledge about the key forces and trends that will shape their industry, intelligence about your prospects' competitors and how they prepare for future success, and perspective, new information that you provide that will help your prospect redefine what success really looks like and clarify the decisions they face as they seek to achieve it. So let's move on to the next skill that we believe of these four is the most important for master sales hunters in 2023. And I'll give you a second just to think about these and which you think is the most important. And so let me just flip back to that so you can see that the answer is slightly phrased differently, but it's the idea of combining your prospecting tools where you're not just staying strictly in your comfort zone, focusing on or avoiding, any one prospecting channel. In contrast, the sales reps that combine multiple channels, email, cold calling, networking, other channels, in a strategic, streamlined sales cadence, have higher odds of generating leads, opportunities, and appointments. So here's, as you can see on this slide, here's a really crazy statistic. According to SalesLoft's, response rates are 77% lower and 91% lower for prospecting cadences or sales professionals that are using only email or only cold calls compared with multi-channel cadences. So successful sales reps understand this fact, and they use a strategic multi-channel cadence to considerably boost their odds. And another interesting statistic is that in 2022, and of course, moving into this year in 2023, successful sales cadences increasingly use some kind of automation to improve efficiency and effectiveness. So here at BusinessWise, when you may be wondering, what do we mean by automation? Here at BusinessWise, many of our clients use our automated email prospecting service, or we call it AEP, as a core part of their lead gen strategy. And here's an example, just graphically, what a typical AEP campaign looks like that we manage for our clients. We work with clients to develop a series of 3 messages for each campaign. There's an initial message, a couple of follow-ups, and whenever a prospect replies, the system automatically stops sending further automated messages to the prospect, because obviously you as the sales reps are picking it up. You've received the reply and you're replying with your own custom reply. So the system stops sending at that point. The prospect continues to send for the folks that haven't replied over the course of a couple of weeks, with intervals up to a week between messages. And new prospects are added only gradually to the campaign, maybe 100 new prospects each day, so that the campaign runs over several months. And the idea here is that AEP is just running in the background, delivering replies gradually to your inbox as long as the campaign is active. So as we think about combining multiple channels, here's a few takeaways for you. We all have a lot of channels a lot of tools in our sales toolbox these days, but a tool is only as effective as its user. It's the decisions that you make, how to use, how to combine the tools at your disposal, and perhaps how to differentiate them based upon the prospects that you're focusing on. Strategic prospects, large enterprises versus maybe SMB. And with that in mind, think about what you're trying to achieve in the various facets of your biz dev strategy, and then select the right tool and tools for the job. Automation, of course, can lead to dramatic efficiency gains that you can also use to rewire your entire biz dev strategy. Moving on to the next skill, let's look at these 4 competitors for what we believe is the most important of these 4 for the Master Sales Hunter. And as you think about it, let me flip over to the answer, and that is, let's just look at that again. Follow your process. We have empathy, of course, it's important. Conflict management, important. All of these are, of course, important, but we believe consistently following a process is the most important, and continuously, consistently executing it. Why is process so important? And, here we have our sales machine saying, the outcome is up to my prospect, but the process is within my control. So that's a really important aspect of it. You control your own behavior, your own process. A strong process is a win-win for both my prospect and me, because if I focus on delivering value, I'll earn trust, respect, and more sales. And as our friend Anthony Iannarino puts it, the sales process cannot start without a conversation with a decision maker or a contact who agrees to meet with you. When you focus on results or other steps farther along in the process, you lose sight of that all-important first step. But when you build and follow a process centered on giving your prospect a reason to engage, you open your funnel to more opportunities to drive your process forward. So the key takeaways is that, if you execute your process confidently, you'll be able to trust it. Build a process around what allows you to be comfortable delivering value for your prospect. And then once you build it, reinforce it through regular structured sales meetings and debriefs with colleagues to get everyone on the same page and working the process in sync with each other. And finally, be sure to write your process down and then measure the effectiveness with which it propels opportunities through your pipeline. And of course, when it falls short, revise it, refine it, and improve it. Wow, let's see. We still have a few more. Of these four, we believe that the skill that is most important for a master sales hunter is, drum roll please, to invest in training. And as a sales rep, there's a lot of ways to get better at honing your skills, but these last two behaviors are the biggest differentiators when it comes to sales success. And the first one is to invest in formal sales training. And this is a perfect follow-up to our first winning sales behavior, the importance of viewing sales as your career identity. Because if sales is a highly skilled profession on par with other professions, then it's not something you can learn on the fly and expect to succeed at the highest level. It requires training. Using sports as an analogy, amateur athletes and quote, weekend warriors can get by without training perhaps, but professionals need to learn from the best. And the difference is in the results. As our sales athlete puts it, I know the difference between a sale and a lost opportunity is often very small. When I invest in sales training, I learn what works and what doesn't, and I gain a critical edge on my competitors. And the numbers bear out this concept. According to ATT Sales Enablement, continuous training results in 50% higher net sales per employee. So here's our key takeaways. When you treat sales as a skilled profession based upon methodical processes and protocols, the value of formal training becomes clear. It helps you learn and build critical skills. It helps you stay current so that when buyer trends change, you'll be ready. And both of these benefits require you to stay consistent because continued success requires continuous training. We would strongly urge you to explore the sales training options available to you and enroll your sales reps. And we'd be more than happy to provide recommendations. Gosh, I think this is maybe the last one, and this is a really important one. So of all of these four here, we believe that the most important of these four is to role play consistently. And this dovetails in with our last skill about training. And that is because if training is a logical follow-up to sales as a profession, then role playing is the logical next step. And that's because, of course, when you're trained to learn certain skills and tactics, and then you practice those skills and tactics in order to perform them optimally. As our sales performer here would explain it, I know I'll perform better when I practice my craft. The more I rehearse challenging scenarios, the more confident I'll be when they arise in the real world. If I don't role play, I may fail to convert prospects into clients. A 2016 publication by Brainshark found that, quote, when training is reinforced by in-the-field coaching, companies see up to 4x the ROI from training programs alone. So we know that role playing isn't every sales rep's favorite thing to do, but it really does work. We do it very often here at BusinessWise. In fact, we have a standing Friday afternoon cold call clinic where we practice a variety of phone prospecting scenarios. And the consistency has helped make our reps more comfortable with the format and, more importantly, has improved their skills tremendously. Again, we'd be more than happy to offer ideas how to structure role play, suggest topics, but here's a few quick tips on effective role play. Role play is not just about indoctrinating sales reps with skills and scripts. It's about making them more comfortable and confident through increased repetition. Role play helps you be confidently yourself. When you practice role playing the role of the prospect, you also gain perspective and empathy that can help you when you're on the other side of the conversation. And then finally, positive feedback is more likely to result in behavior change than negative feedback. So when you're in a role play training session and you're giving feedback to the salesperson that is taking that role, give positive feedback to each other. The ideal ratio is 6 positive comments for every 1 negative comment. So that is the end of our presentation for today.